And here we are for day 36. It's been wet, windy, rainy, pretty much all day. So I guess we'll start with the big news. Just read a couple articles and jumped on the Union website. Well, they did an update earlier this afternoon, but haven't seen anything later. But they are in mediated talks with the company. So to me, that says they're not at the table face to face. They're, one side talk, the mediator goes, okay, we'll go over here. And then this side talks, and the mediator goes, okay, we'll go back over here. And so they're going back and forth. So at least they're talking. So that's usually the slow way of things getting done. So I doubt we'll hear anything by next week. There's probably just a lot of back and forth. We did the big survey last night. It did come out after I posted the last video, so I filled that out. All it was just put in the order of importance, pay and benefits and progression and seniority and vacation and health care and retirement and yada 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 and all the different little programs we have. So there's, 20 different little deals to click and drop into the order that you want them. But yeah, so that's done. So hopefully they're taking that. I'm assuming that's what the mediator is taking to the Boeing Company and saying, hey, this is what the general population wants. So I did watch a couple of videos, it was the same video, but watched it twice on a couple of different sites of the rally that I didn't attend. Looked pretty full. So it's not a huge site down there, so looks like they had more than enough people. Other than that, I did go down to Home Depot this afternoon, got the old pick-em-up truck fired up. Was getting a little worried because it didn't want to start. Crank, 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 nothing. Crank, 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 nothing. Pump, 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 crank, 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 crank. And then I really started smelling fuel. I thought, oh crap, but I think I just flooded it. So she did give me one hiccup driving down to Snohomish. There's a hill I was climbing and it started to cough and sputter, and I reached down and I hit the switch for the other fuel tank because I know one of those tanks is pretty well on empty. The other's got, I don't remember if it's a half gallon or a half tank or a 3/4 in it, but I got to get that fuel gauge working. I think it's just a bad connection. It used to work fine until I had to put the new selector valve to go between the two tanks. Ever since then, it's just been hit or miss. So crawl underneath there. It's either that or it's the contacts, because I also put a new circuit, I'll call it a circuit board, but it's a flexible sheet with little copper circuits on it. I had to put a new one of those in on the dash because mine was acting up and half the lights didn't work, and so it's a combination of the two, I think. So we need to get that figured out so I can drive the truck again, know how much fuel is in it. But yeah, I went down and grabbed some trim boards for the garage. Of course, I just bought the fascia boards. I didn't think about the inner boards, but I think those are going to be okay. I didn't even think about it till now. I wonder if they make 1x3 or 1x4, like Trex type trim boards that wouldn't rot. I don't know how those would react with heat and cold and keeping a seal, expansion and contraction with the plastic and the wood and all that. So, but whatever. These were fairly cheap boards. So bought some primer, bought some paint, bought some rollers, bought some, some trays to put it in. Bought some sandpaper. Grabbed my sander, and the cord is all busted up right where it comes out of the sander unit. I don't know if it's been dropped one too many times or what. It's hey, what are you doing? Yeah, nothing. Okay, keep claws out of that. looking to explore a little bit, clawing on stuff. She was going to go outside, but it was raining. Can't claw outside if it's raining, apparently. So, where were we? Yada 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 about the paints. Oh, bought some sandpaper. And the sander, the cord is all just demolished. It's all frayed and whatnot. So I did the right thing and jumped online and found a DeWalt cordless, supposedly new. It's a split from a multi-tool kit, apparently. So we'll see. That should be here hopefully next week sometime. So, because it's supposed to be rainy for several days now. Tomorrow is supposed to be the worst of them, is what they're telling us. Windy, but just enough because of all the leaves in the trees that may cause some damage. If it was middle of winter, this would just be a little breezy storm, no issue. But because of all the trees and whatnot, it may cause some issues with some, mostly up north. But yeah, it's been huffing out there a little bit most of the afternoon. But yeah, we got the truck down, got the truck back. My little model railroad project I'm thinking of working on. I went and bought a shelf, 48 inches long. I was going to get the 12-inch wide. I wound up buying the 13.5 or 14.5 inch wide. So that's my limitation. It's pretty sharp corners, but I got a plan. I've actually got some track plans I've been playing with all afternoon and laying some stuff out. I got some different switches coming as well, a little bit shorter in length and a lot more, heavier curve. So that'll open things up a little bit more. We'll see when they get here. But yeah, I'm almost done. Okay, just give me a minute. It's almost food time. 7:30. Yeah, food. Your favorite, huh? Crazy critters. So, other than that, maybe we'll hear something, and we're not going to hear anything over the weekend, I'm sure. So, I would anticipate early, mid next week, we might hear, maybe. But I'm sure they'll be going back and forth all weekend long. So, dinner. Yeah. We'll talk it real quick. I had a couple of frozen lasagnas I bought from Costco. The meat lasagna, I guess, sausage and beef and yada yada yada. And I threw it in the oven this afternoon. That was pretty tasty. A little spicy, but it was pretty tasty. And threw a little salad on the side and a couple of tube of biscuits in the whatchamacallit little stove on the countertop there and cooked them up at the same time. And that was a good dinner. I didn't have any breakfast this morning, but now I got 5 more days of lasagna to eat. Plus I still got a frozen one in the fridge. Came in a 2-pack. So, hey, lasagna for breakfast tomorrow. Crack an egg over the top of it. So, alrighty, we'll shut up now. Get this thing uploaded. Fingers crossed here in the next week or so we hear something. Then we got to all gather up and go vote somewhere. And I think if it does pass, then we've got to, I'm sure if they'll have a date. If it does pass, they'll be back to work a few days afterwards. And if it doesn't, we'll stay out for a little bit longer. So then the two sides will go stand in their corners for a bit and stew and steam, and then we'll come back. But Spirit Aerosystems announced today too that they're going to be furloughing a bunch of folks for about 3 weeks if we don't get things figured out here soon. Even if we do, it's going to be a while before we're back up to anywhere near regular production. So, alrighty, enough of me yakking. Let's get this weekend started. Not that I haven't been on a weekend for the last 5 weeks now. So, okay. See y'all tomorrow night. Bye-bye.